Okay, problem 36 in section 2.6, asking us to take a limit as t approaches 0 of this trigonometric function. Now, the one thing I'm hoping you notice right away is that we've got two trig ratios here, a tangent in the numerator and a secant in the denominator, and we don't like either one of those. Remember that kind of our main strategy when we're doing trigonometric limits is to try to convert everything that we can into sines and cosines. So that's the first thing we're going to try here. A tangent in the numerator is going to break down into a sine of the same angle, 4t, over a cosine of the same angle down on the bottom. So that right there takes the place of the tangent 4t in the numerator. Down in the denominator, there's still a t, and I'll put that maybe out in front, and then we have something that just never makes sense to me at all. A secant in the denominator is just dumb. Let's change it. Let's move it to the numerator and make it the reciprocal of that ratio there. A secant in the denominator just becomes a cosine in the numerator. Let's not make the mistake, everybody, of thinking that those cancel out and maybe somehow leave a 4 behind them. That would just be silly. Those are not the same thing here, so you can't cancel those out. Okay, so what are we going to try to do? Well, the one thing we're looking for here, guys, the one trig limit we said we needed to know was the limit as your angle, t in this case, approaches 0, of sine of an angle over the same angle. We've got a sine of 4t here, so we need a 4t in the denominator to pair with that. I've already got a t, so I'm just going to cram a 4 in front of that, but of course then I have to cram a 4 in the numerator here as well. And the only other thing I see that gives me a little bit of pause are the cosines in the numerator and the denominator. But I'll remind everybody, you can go ahead and we'll do this on the next step, let those t's actually become 0 because the cosine of 0 is 1. So I think it's probably a good idea to rewrite this real quick, the limit as t approaches 0 of, and let's see what we can pair together here, guys. We've got a sine of 4t in the numerator, that takes care of that, and then this 4t in the denominator I'll put underneath that. Gotcha. Times, and now I think everything that's left over can go together. I've got a 4 cosine of t in the numerator, that takes care of that, and then a cosine of 4t in the denominator, and that should be everything. Now I think we'll go ahead and do the product law for limits. Okay, so the limit of this product is equal to the product of the two individual limits. So a limit as t approaches 0 of sine of any angle over itself is always equal to 1. And on this second one right here, we end up with a 4 times the cosine of 0 is 1. So there's your numerator. And in the denominator, 4 times 0 is 0, and the cosine of 0 is 1 as well. So it looks like we end up with 1 times 4, which should give us our answer here for number 36 of 4.